Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to another episode of the new member orientation series. And today is episode number 13. And today we are going to discuss about the meeting role, the very important meeting role, and that is the Toastmaster of the day. So, Toastmaster of the day is basically the MC of the meeting. So before we go towards the Toastmaster of the day, let us just have a recap of whatever we have discussed. So initially, in the last 12 videos, we have discussed about topics related to Toastmasters, the aspects of Toastmasters, the mission and vision statement of Toastmasters. We have discussed about the meeting roles, how the meeting is structured, what are the meeting roles available. Then we have discussed about how do we deliver an icebreaker speech, how do we deliver the table topic speech. We have discussed about how to pursue, how to register ourselves in the pathways, how can we start the pathways projects. Then we have discussed about how to perform the role of the topics master. So today in this video we are going to discuss about what all do we need to consider, while planning and performing the role of the Toastmaster of the day. So let us begin this video without any further ado. So what is the Toastmaster of the day role? So Toastmaster of the day role is basically the MC or the host of the meeting. He or she is the one who are going to run the entire meeting, who are going to keep the energy levels high for the entire meeting. Okay, so what you do, so as a Toastmaster of the day, you will be introducing the speakers, you'll be keeping a positive energy, and you'll be ensuring that you will be staying on the schedule. So one of the challenges that Toastmaster of the day is going to face is that he or she needs to start the meeting on time and needs to conclude the meeting on time. So it is one of his primary responsibilities is to ensure that everything goes smoothly as time. Okay, so that is what Toastmaster of the day is all about. So to say in one statement, Toastmaster of the day is like a project manager. He has to ensure that everything finishes it off on a timely manner. Okay, so that is how you can say Toastmaster of the day in one line. Now, when can we take Toastmaster of the day? The Toastmaster of the day role can be taken. It is recommended that you better wait maybe for one or two meetings, or maybe let's say 4 meetings. Okay, let's wait for the first 4 meetings. Once you get an idea of what a Toastmaster of the day is, then you can start taking up that particular role of the Toastmaster of the day. So it's all about waiting, observing the listing, and then grabbing the opportunity. Okay, because Toastmaster of the day might require some skills. Okay, so if you can get an idea in the first 4 meetings, it's a good thing. Okay, otherwise also there's no hard and fast rule that you have to wait for 4 meetings. You can actually take it whenever you want, but I would recommend that it's better to observe in a couple of meetings. Then you can, once you feel comfortable, once you feel confident, then you can take the Toastmaster of the day role. Now, Toastmaster of the day has certain skills. So what are the skills? So the skills are like planning, there is organization, there's time management, there's facilitation, there is motivation, and then there is team management. So we'll be discussing about these skills in one of the slides in this video itself. Okay, so we are just waiting for that slide to come. So to summarize, to tell in one line, Toastmaster of the day is the one who is going to set the tone for the entire meeting. He or she is the one who is going to keep the energy levels high. Now, what the Toastmaster of the day has to do before, during, and after the meeting. So before the meeting, the Toastmaster of the day has to coordinate with the VP Education in order to confirm the agenda. He or she needs to contact all the role players, prepare their introductions, and ensure that transition is planned properly. Okay, that is from one segment to another segment, or from one role player to another segment, or another role player. The transition is prepared very well. That is number one. Number two is during the meeting. So during the meeting, the Toastmaster of the day has to welcome everyone. He or she needs to explain about how a Toastmaster meeting is conducted, how each segment is going to be introduced, and how each speaker will be introduced. He needs to ensure that the meeting is flowing smoothly as per the agenda, and also on time. Okay. And after the session, the Toastmaster of the day has to thank everyone and has to hand over the control back to the president and close the meeting. Okay. This is what the Toastmaster of the day has to do before, during, and after the meeting. Now, what are the skills? As I said in my first slide, what are the skills that you will build as a Toastmaster of the day? There's a correction over here. It's not Topics Master, it's Toastmaster of the day. So these are some of the skills. So first thing is that when it comes to planning, in planning, you are going to prepare the agenda. You're going to help the VP Education to prepare the agenda and also ensure that the transitions are done smoothly. Then we have the organization skill. You'll be coordinating roles and timing. Then we have the time management. You'll be keeping the meeting on schedule. That is, you will start the meeting on time and you will end the meeting on time. Okay, that is the third skill. The fourth skill is you'll be developing your facilitation skill. You'll be guiding the flow of the meeting. The fifth skill is motivation. As I said, you are the MC. You are the one who is going to set the tone of the meeting. So you ensure that all the participants are energized and you are enliving. You are actually making sure that everyone is motivated and encouraged to participate. Okay. And then we have the team building. So everyone is encouraged. So when you are calling on everyone, what happens is you are actually bonding, you are actually creating a bond between the members. So it is actually a team building exercise. Okay. So those skills, so these are the skills that you will be developing as a Toastmaster of the day. So Toastmaster of the day is one of the best roles for building leadership skills. So this is where you will be learning how to manage several things in the Toastmasters meeting. Okay. So the key takeaways is that, so the first thing is that as a Toastmaster of the day, you will be the MC of the entire meeting. You will be planning the agenda. You will be conducting the role players. You'll be preparing their introductions and also ensuring that smooth transitions takes place from one role play to another and from one segment to another. Then during the meeting, you'll be welcoming the audience. You'll be introducing the role players and the speakers. You will be keeping the flow smooth. And after the meeting, you will be thanking everyone. Either you can close the meeting if you are the president, or otherwise you can hand over the control to the president. And then you have when can we take the role? The role can be taken. It is recommended that you observe for a couple of meetings, then you volunteer to take the Toastmaster of the day role. Then what are the skills that you will be developing? So you have the planning skill. You will be coordinating with the VP for preparing the agenda. You'll be organizing the meeting. You'll be learning how to manage the meeting within time. You'll be learning how to facilitate the transitions. You'll be learning how to motivate the audience. And also you will be creating a team building exercise for all the audience members involved in the meeting. So these are the key takeaways for the Toastmaster of the day. So I would recommend to observe first, then volunteer to be the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day is a big step, but once you grab that thing, once you grab it, you will learn, you'll be growing exponentially. Okay, the growth will be fast. So I would request you all to kindly prepare yourself for becoming the Toastmaster of the day, because it's going to be one of the exciting roles in your Toastmasters journey. So with this, I conclude my video on this particular topic. So in case if you have any questions, comments related to this topic, please do post them in the chat section and I will be happily obliged to respond to them. Thank you once again and see you in the next video.